Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Fairuz Abdul Rahman. I'm from Oral Pathology and Oral Medicine Specialist Clinic in Queen Elizabeth Hospital. I was assigned to give the fourth lecture for this event, and this is the first lecture for today. I'm going to present this topic, handling of biopsy specimen. Okay, this is one of the crucial components that you have to know or remember to make sure that your sample is worth for the histopathological evaluation. Why I'm saying this? Okay, let's say if you manage to do a great biopsy with adequate amount of representative tissue, but if you fail to get it fit immediately or because of the leakage from the poor handling or packaging, the tissue may be dry up and may not be useful. It's already wasted and might be rejected. So I will go through this in my lecture. Let's begin. Okay, let's start with my lecture outline. I'm going to talk about specimen fixation, why your biopsy need to be fixed. Then I will talk about specimen information, how to prepare sample and do proper labeling. After that, I will discuss about specimen preparation for shipping to pathology lab. I also will talk about what you need to do for cases that require multiple biopsies. Okay, next, if you plan to send for frozen specimen, what you need to do. Okay, then I also will talk about the current issue. If you really need to take a biopsy from COVID-19 patient, what you have to do. And the last one, I will discuss with what make your specimen get rejected. Okay, I know this is the first lecture today, early morning, right? If you are too sleepy or drowsy, you just remember this outline here. Maybe it will be useful for you in the future to refer back to this lecture. No, I'm just kidding. Please do focus and get your coffee now. In order to know what to prepare prior to a biopsy, you have to decide what kind of biopsy you want to do. Okay, this is the list of type of biopsy that you can send to pathology team. And for us, oral pathology department, we only accept biopsy tissue. Okay, it could be from resection, excision, or small tissue biopsy such as punch biopsy. Okay, other than that, don't send to us. We definitely will reject your specimen. Okay, I'm saying this because we still receive specimen for CNS and fluid. Sometimes they took from a cyst content, and sometimes they send to us a metal, which I have to reject that specimen. Okay, this is a diagram or flow chart. The journey of a biopsy from patient to lab. Okay, both sender and receiver must take their role to handle every biopsy. But in this lecture, I will focus more on the sender's role. Okay, it's you. What you need to prepare before doing biopsy, after biopsy, and shipping of the biopsy, which to make sure the biopsy is safely arrived to pathology lab. Okay, you have to responsible for your specimen. Everything you send, you have to trace where is your biopsy. I want to do biopsy. What should I do and prepare prior to the procedure? This is a thing that you have to prepare before biopsy. Okay, specimen fixation, you need bottle and also formalin. Make sure you get the formalin before you do the biopsy. Okay, and then specimen information, you need form, pipette 301 and so lampiran A. And then you need the box. This will be discussed later. Preparation for the shipping to lab. Okay, you need the secondary packaging or container, and you need a rigid box and also absorbent. Okay, fixation of tissue. Why your biopsy need to be fixed? Okay, the broad objective of tissue fixation is to preserve cell and tissue component in a lifelike state. Okay, this is to prevent or arrest the degenerative processes which commence as soon as the tissue is deprived of its blood supply. Okay, to enable a histopathological diagnosis, dental tissue material need to be fixed to stop tissue autolysis prior to the sample reaching the pathology laboratory. Okay, I know you may wondering how much fixative that you need and how long should should you put the specimen in fixative? Okay, to preserve fresh tissue, it is depending on the tissue, the size of the tissue. The larger the specimen, the longer you need to keep it in fixative. Once it's fixed, it will permanently stay as it is. Okay, the type of fixative used, the most commonly used is 10% neutral buffered formalin. Okay, you can get this from your pharmacy if you are from klinik kesihatan, or makmal kesihatan for those in hospital. Okay, how much fixative that you need? Just make sure the biopsy is completely immersed in the formalin. Okay, to be ideal, the fixative must be 10 times the volume of the specimen. Okay, I think this is clear. Okay, this is the example. This photo micrograph of kidney show difference between well-fixed tissue and the one with poorly fixed tissue. Okay, the first photo micrograph showing good nuclear and cytoplasmic morphology with minimal shrinkage and showing clearly defined basement membrane and cell margin. When you compare with the second photo micrograph, this is an example of a poorly fixed tissue. Okay, it shows inferior nuclear and cytoplasmic morphology with excessive shrinkage and poorly defined cell margin. Okay, you can note that vacuolation and fragmentation of both nucleus and cytoplasm of cell of the distal tubule, and there's a shrinkage causing the retraction of the glomerulus. Okay, this is why your biopsy need to be fixed properly. Okay, because it will give us headache or hard time to read the specimen. Okay. Okay, now I have done the biopsy. So what's next? What should I do now? These are the things that you have to do before and during biopsy. Okay, prepare specimen container and biohazard plastic bag. And formalin 10% buffer should be ready during the procedure day. Okay, make sure your DSA or PPK get the formalin at least few hours before the procedure. Okay, to make it a good habit, better prepare it 1 day prior to the procedure. Okay, because you already make an appointment for the patient, so you know you're going to do the biopsy the next day, right? Okay, how much formalin do I need? Okay, make sure the specimen is fully immersed in the formalin. So to ensure that, the formalin must be at least 10 times or 15 times the specimen volume. Okay, make sure the specimen container is ready and put the formalin in the container. Okay, then specimen to be immediately put into the formalin after taken out from the biopsy site. Okay, don't put on the gauze or in the kidney dish. Okay, straight away to the specimen container and make sure it is fully immersed. Okay, these are the example of the specimen in the bottles and plastic bag. I know sometimes your biopsy, especially excisional biopsy, can be too big. Like pyogenic remark, it could be grow up to 5 to 10 cm. Kan? So if you cannot get a bigger bottle, you can put in the plastic bag like this picture. Okay, but please use multiple layer of plastic bag. Specimen labeling. Okay, specimen with incomplete or incorrect labeling will be rejected. When you are doing the labeling, make sure to do it correctly, especially when you took more than one biopsy site. You need to separate the biopsies into different containers. Okay, you don't have to write down everything at the label on the container, just enough to know whose and where's. Okay, name and IC number, and then I need a biopsy site. If you take from multiple sites, you can use alphabet like A, B, or C, or number 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the label must be the same what written on the HPE request form. Okay, container must be closed tightly and sealed to prevent formalin spillage. Okay, for specimen information, we need you to fill these two forms. Okay, have you done any biopsy before? If you did, you must know how to fill this form. Okay, lampiran A and Pepet 301. Okay, lampiran A is just your information. Okay, because we want to know who should we send this report to? Okay, we need your name, your clinic name, and your email and contact number. Okay, for the PERPAT 301, what information that oral pathologists want to know? Okay, we want detail but not too much, just all the relevant information only. Okay. The most important one is patient detail. Okay, patient name. Okay, write in capital letter, and then IC number or passport number, and then age, ethnicity, and gender. Okay, then write down the department or clinic or maybe ward that referred this sample, and then we need your clinic and or department stamp. Okay, and then clinical summary. Okay, just summarize. Okay, for the clinical summary, just include only relevant information. Okay, what do we need? Okay, we need patient complaint, and then history of presenting complaint, and then we need to know patient past medical history, past dental history, maybe medication, and then we need to know social history and also habit. Okay, and then examination, extraoral examination and also intraoral examination. Okay, for the investigation, we need to know radiograph finding. Okay, maybe you can give a pulse sensitivity test if this is tooth related, and if there are any blood investigation, you can write it down. So, and then for the management, we need to know type of the biopsy. Okay, and then the location of the biopsy, and if you do suture, tagging or labeling, you can write it down. Okay, and then if you have a radiograph taken, you can either you can attach a hard copy, or maybe you can just send copy of the radiograph to our email. Okay, and clinical photo as well. Okay, then we want to know what procedure that has been done. Okay, either is it incisional biopsy or excisional biopsy. Then we want to know your provisional diagnosis, or maybe you can put a differential diagnosis. It should be okay. Okay, put 1, 2, 3, and then okay, and then you can put a type of specimen. Okay, from which side here, and then here put underline HPE. Okay, and then make sure your date and time specimen taken is correct. Okay, and attending officer name and date, and also signature and stamp. Okay, if you are still a junior or maybe NDoc, okay, you can ask your senior officer to countersign. Okay, or maybe your specialist lah. Okay, let's say if this case is urgent case, okay, you can call up us and we can arrange a urgent. Okay, this is one of the HPE request form with acceptable information detail. Okay, we don't need too much information. We just need a relevant information only. Okay, this is one of the example. Too much information that provided by the sender. Okay, it is not wrong, but if possible, provide the most relevant information only. Okay, because we don't want to know how many siblings that patient has, or patient was married before, then divorced, and now looking for new one. Okay, we don't want to know too detailed. Okay, and then you can say that patient has multiple but badly broken down tooth. Okay, don't put full dental charting, especially those cases, mucosal cases. Okay, it's not related at all. Okay, some of you like to use and start with this. Okay, thank for seeing this patient, blah blah blah. Okay, we are not seeing your patient. It's just a piece of tissue from your patient. Okay, I think I should stop lah. There's a lot more actually. Okay. Okay, now we move to how to pack specimen. Okay, have you heard about triple packaging? Okay, this is the standard packaging for the biopsy specimen. Okay, triple packaging. Okay, for the first layer or first container, okay, we need to use a leak-proof primary container. Okay, the most common primary container that we use in clinic is the one that we use for urine. Okay, this one you can get from Makmal or sometimes pharmacy also can provide you this. Okay, the primary container in which the specimen is placed with the formalin should be tightly sealed and wrapped in sufficient absorbent material to absorb the fixative if leakage occur. Okay, you can use paper towel or cotton wool. Okay, please ensure all lids are tightly secure. Okay, for the second layer, usually we use a ziplock biohazard specimen bag. Okay, you need to prepare it with absorbent material. Okay, when multiple fragile primary containers are placed in a single secondary packaging, they must be individually wrapped or separated to prevent the contact between them. Okay, the clinical report inserted into the side pocket of the bag. Okay, for the third layer, you need a rigid outer packaging. Okay, why? This is to protect the specimen container from damage if the package is dropped. Okay, like example, you can use a cardboard box, plastic toolbox, or specimen coolers. The specific cardboard box with full depth lid or groove polystyrene container are available for this purpose. Okay, a further outer bag is recommended, which should be labeled pathological specimen, fragile with care, and the name and address of this of the sender should be clearly displayed. Okay, and you must put arrow on the box to indicate upright position of this specimen. Okay, this is for the handling of the specimen by courier. Once you completed the packaging, you must know where you should send your biopsy. Okay, for OPOM, our services are limited and we are centralized and located at the main state hospital. So it is easy for you guys. For all clinic in Sabah and Labuan, you can send to me in Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And for all clinics in Sarawak, you can submit your sample to Hospital Umum Sarawak. Okay, this is the address. I assume you have this address. Okay, I'm putting this just in case if you are moving to other state in near future. Okay, because some of you may get transferred to other state. So currently we have 12 OPOM center nationwide. Okay, OPOM services is not available in only 3 states. Okay, in Perlis, Melaka, and Negeri Sembilan. Okay, so for the Perlis, usually they will send to Hospital Sultan Abdul Halim, and for the Melaka and Negeri Sembilan, they can send to IMR or NIH. Okay, this is important thing to remember because you are going to transport the specimen by air, so you have to follow their regulation. Transport of specimen should follow the United Nations model regulation, technical instruction for the safe transport of dangerous goods by air of the ICAO. Okay, and then IATA regulate the shipping of dangerous goods and publish the dangerous good regulation manual, so you can refer to this. And for the specimen, you must put label at the container, and each class has hazard symbol that represent the danger of that class. Okay, for the biopsy tissue, they put it in class 6, toxic and infectious substance. Okay, packaging instruction, you have to follow the requirement, triple layer packaging, that similar to what I show you just now. Okay, so the 6.1 is toxic substance, 6.2 is infectious substance. These are example of a specimen that I have received with poor packaging. Okay, formalin spillage causing the bulb burn off, and sometimes it can cause the label of the specimen gone. like in this photo. Okay, there was one time I received a call from postology office asking me to go there to collect the specimen. It was a big specimen, and it was already worn off and leaking to their office store, so they don't dare to deliver the item. Okay, they asked me to come and get it. Okay, this is why it is important to do the packaging properly. Okay, because you will be exposing those formalin to others, especially those working in Korea. Okay? And then formalin toxicity is one of the things that you want to avoid. Next, what should I do if I want to send specimen for frozen section? Okay, the diagnosis of some oral mucosal diseases can be facilitated by the use of direct immunofluorescence. Okay, fresh frozen tissue is preferred. So if you suspect of vesiculous lesion, such as pemphigus vulgaris or membrane mucus pemphigoid, which are more common, okay, you still can take the biopsy. Thus, please do consult us first, because you may need transport media for this specimen. Okay, you need a mixture solution as transport medium or PBS, and then make sure tissue fixed in formalin is also required lah. Okay, then the specimen must be submitted immediately to pathology lab. Okay, for extensive or diffusely distributed lesion, which require multiple biopsies, if I want to take a multiple biopsy from same site or multiple site, what should I do? Okay, for multiple biopsy from different site, okay, if you look at this photograph, okay, it located at left buccal mucosa, and then there's a lesion at the left lateral border of tongue as well. So if you plan to take biopsy from both sides, you must put it in different bottle and label accordingly. Okay, don't put in the same bottle. Okay, for cases of extensive lesion, okay, like in this case, patient presented with extensive ulceration at the right buccal mucosa. Okay, if possible, if you take 2 biopsy from this side, okay, put it in different bottle as well. Sometimes the lesion may show different histology. Okay, if you separate it, we can tell which and which. Okay, we move to this topic, biopsy from COVID-19 patient. Is it possible? Okay, if you ask me, frankly, I will advise to hold it first. Okay, but if you really need to do a biopsy because of the suspicious lesion that need for urgent attention, so you still can do the biopsy on the COVID-19 patient, but you have to make sure that this patient is in good, stable condition. Okay, what I mean is patient is not intubated, patient is not in the extent stage, like stage 3, 4, 5. Okay, but if you want to do biopsy, make sure you have to follow the strict SOP for handling of a specimen for COVID-19 patient. Okay, I will go through in the next slide. Okay, this is a SOP for handling a sample from COVID-19 patient. So if you want to do a biopsy on COVID-19 patient, you have to call us first. Okay, just inform us, because we need to inform pathology lab to expect this biopsy to arrive. Okay, the sample from suspicious and or confirmed COVID-19 patient must be labeled clearly with the biohazard label and also COVID-19 label. Okay, it must be transferred into a properly sealed formalin-filled pathology container with adequate amount of formalin to be added to cover the tissue. Okay, to be fixed, and the biopsy tissue must be in formalin for 24 hours. Okay, so you are advised to keep the biopsy for 24 hours first before sending the specimen, because we don't want to to let the biopsy spill out during the transformation. Okay, then further placed in the designated secondary container to minimize the potential for breakage or a spill. Okay, this is a container that we have here in Sabah. Okay, external surfaces of specimen container must be decontaminated using a disinfectant, 70% alcohol and 0.1% hypochlorite. Okay, why you need to inform us? Because there's a specific SOP for us to handle sample from COVID-19 patient. Okay, upon arrival, we have to follow standard precaution when handling a clinical specimen. We need to do a full PPE with our eye protection, and then precaution and disinfection of the external surface of the specimen prior to touch and open the box. Okay. Pathologists or MLT must ensure proper filtration of the specimen prior handling. Then coronavirus get fit in 24 hours with formaldehyde and 48 hours in glutaraldehyde. Okay, for the work area, after we do the crossing, we use a disinfectant solution with proven activity against enveloped RNA viruses. Okay, like sodium hypochlorite, and then the work area must be emptied for 30 minutes before we can use back. Okay, and then for the waste management, it will be disposed in the separate yellow bag label COVID-19. So that's why you need to inform us if this sample from a COVID-19 patient. Okay, if you look at the diagram below here, okay, sample will be disinfected upon arrival, and then the sample will be put at the corner for 3 days before proceed to the next stage. Okay, after 3 days, we open up the box, and then the sample and the form will be put under UV light for 30 minutes. Okay, then after that we proceed to the crossing. So that's how we handle biopsy from the COVID-19 patient. Okay, why your biopsy is not processed? Let's talk about why your specimen got rejected. Okay, we are quite strict with the criteria that we have released. So there is no such thing that do it first, we will get back and correct it for you later. Okay, if your biopsy is not up to the minimum requirement, we can reject your biopsy anyway. Okay, then after that you have to explain to the patient and discuss either to do a biopsy or etc. etc. Okay, this is the list that why sample get rejected. Okay, first, incomplete request form. This is important, especially on the patient detail. Okay. Number 2, specimen is different from detail described in the request form. This can happen when you send more than one biopsy. There is a possibility that the biopsy got interchanged, so you have to be more detailed. Okay. Number 3, specimen not suitable for microscopic examination. Like example, fluid or pus, which is more suitable for CNS or other examination. Okay. Number 4, specimen is not submitted in the proper fixative. Okay, sometimes this can happen. Okay, I have encountered few times. The officer telling me there is no formalin available, so they just put in the normal saline. So we have to reject this because there's nothing we can help. The tissue is already wasted and cannot be processed. Okay, number 5, specimen is not adequately or properly labeled. Okay, this will take a longer time for the specimen to process. Okay, usually we will send this back to the sender. If you can correct it or do the labeling, you can send back to us. Okay, and then number 6, the wrong type of specimen. Okay, we don't process if you send other than biopsy tissue like metal or foreign body, which cannot be processed. Okay, so make sure you do it properly and get it checked before sending. Okay, this is the rejection letter that will be released explaining why we reject your specimen. So just hope that you get your patient report instead of this letter. Okay, so that's the end of my lecture. I hope this lecture has given you clear ideas on this topic. Okay, if you have any question or you want to consult with us, please do call us. Okay, we are more happy to entertain your inquiry instead of rejecting your specimen. Okay. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our program coordinator, Dr. Ajura Abdul Jalil, and Dr. Shalin and Dr. Salvamika for this collaboration in arranging this Kursus Biopsi Zone Borneo, and to Dr. Liu Huailin, Dr. Nurul Mashira, and also Dr. Ahmad Karibuddin. Okay, and thank you to my staff as well. Okay, thank you all.
Hadirin yang dihormati sekalian, kita akan dengan pembentangan seterusnya. Dipersilakan dulu dengan pembentangan video beliau. Dipersilakan.
Hey, good morning everyone. Hi.
Hadirin yang dihormati sekalian, kita akan teruskan dengan pembentangan seterusnya. Dipersilakan Dr. Liu dengan pembentangan video beliau. Dipersilakan.
Hey, good morning everyone. Hi, good to see you all again. And I'm Dr. Liu from Opom Hospital Queen Elizabeth Sabah. So as just now Dr. Fadul has presented about what we should do after we have biopsy done. So now I will show you a video focusing on how you are going to make a specimen. Alright, and now I'll share my screen and enjoy the video.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Liu from Opom Sabah. Good morning, I'm Dr. Liu from Opom Sabah. Now I'm going to show you a video on what you need to do after you have got the specimen out. In the previous presentation, you have been told like how to fill up the project form, right? And now I'm going to show you how will be the packing of the specimen done. Okay, first you need to get the HPA request form ready. And in Sabah we have another form which is orang minta perkhidmatan diagnostik mulut. Okay, so in this form, the officer need to fill up the name, office contact number, personal phone number, as well as email address, so that we can easily look for you if we need any additional information. Okay, and then prepare also a plastic cover or a plastic bag, the wrapper, as well as stationery needed. And also the specimen bottle containing specimen together with biohazard ziploc bag. And not to forget the absorbent material. In this case, we are using styrofoam material, and also a rigid outer box. So you need this material for packing of HPE request form. Make sure the HPE request form is complete. Make sure all the important details are there. Then you attach the borang perkhidmatan together with the HPE request form, and then staple it. Okay, now you fold it nicely. And then put it into the plastic bag. This is to prevent the document from being wet when there is leakage of formalin. Then you seal it nicely, and it's done. These are required for the packing of the specimen. You have tissue paper, wrapper, biohazard bag, as well as cellophane tape. Okay, make sure the container is closed and then seal it with the wrapper. Make sure it's a non-paper type wrapper, yeah? So this will be the first layer of triple packaging. For information, there are 3 layers. So the first layer will be the specimen bottle. Okay, first layer done. Wrapping with tissue paper is optional. Okay, now second layer consists of the zip up bag as well as absorber material. So now you put the specimen bottle into the ziploc bag. Seal it. Okay, then make sure you have your request form as well as the specimen. Okay, put in the form and the specimen into the rigid box. And then make sure the absorbent materials are there. So with the absorbent materials, your second layer is complete. Okay. And then when the third layer, which is the outer box, is closed, meaning that you have completed the triple layer packaging. Okay, then you may put an arrow indicating the direction of this box, so that the postman will not just simply throw it displace it.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you to DS Florence for helping out in this video, who is also a Undok Ngadal in 2008. Okay, thank you very much, Flo.